notice about Kulwicki is, even though it's not white knuckles, he is having to saw that wheel a good deal more than he was early on, and that is attributable to the slippery conditions that we're seeing here. But the left leg is a real nice shot there as you see him using the brakes to get into the corners.
And he said they would use a fair amount of brake here today, that particularly in turn 3, you'd use brake. That's that sprint car style where you can't get your feet across that Kenny Schrader is so smooth about. He uses the brake about as well as anyone these days in Winston Cup racing. And here you see Kulwicki there again, just gently giving it a double tap and getting himself in there.
That's really neat. David Spain is sharp because I've been watching this sport forever. Of course, I've not had the benefit of an in-car camera, but I'd heard him always talk about left foot breakers, and now I understand what they're talking about. And that's Dale Earnhardt's great secret to driving a car real loose and hard. He taps the brakes and keeps the accelerator down. I never understood that, and that's clear how they're doing it now.
Leave the pedal mashed and use that brake just to turn it loose and cut it into the corner.
Exactly.
Old sprint car and old midget style. A lot of folks in the Midwest.
Johnny, I appreciate your first capacity in noticing my astuteness in picking that out, but I have to give the credit to Ricky Rudd, because it was Rudd who told me that not so much on the oval tracks, but on the road races, they've really taken a lot of the excitement out of it for him because they use those Jericho transmissions now. They're self-shifting. You don't have to use the clutch anymore. He says these good old boys all know how to run down there and stomp on the brake with their left foot. When I'd get them on the road race courses, I could whip them because I knew how to heel and toe brake. You tar heels like Johnny don't even know what heel and toe braking is, and now Ricky says nobody has to use the clutch anymore on the road race tracks, and it's a big disadvantage for me because I'm a good road racer.
Well, yeah, plus he's a flat Yankee. Heel and toe is a beach dance in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina called the shag, and you get a lot more dates shagging at Myrtle Beach than you do heeling and towing at a racetrack. That's all I can say about that.
Heeling and towing is what we're not seeing on car number 7, is he uses the left foot and the right foot there and planks him firmly up into turn number 1 with car number 11, Terry Labonte, gaining some ground. And look who else is in the picture. Car number 3, Dale Earnhardt, running in 5th place, is right back up in here again and is making a good run under Labonte as he tries to move up through. He's on the bottom of the racetrack, getting up on Eddie Bierschwell's number 23. As they come by, go into turn number 1, 261 laps complete. There's Earnhardt under the Labonte number 11, and that will pick him up to 4th. Tries to close in on Kulwicki. Boy, Earnhardt is really beginning to look good again after having a so-so middle range of the race effort. He is coming back now. Here he is under Kulwicki. 4 cautions in the first 90 laps, no cautions in the last 165. Back straight away. Earnhardt beginning to show a little muscle here.
Earnhardt's situation is common to most of the field, and that is that they, number 1, lost a lot of practice to rain here. They didn't get much time on this new racetrack when they really needed it, and then they quickly figured out that the Hoosier tires were so much faster that they devoted a lot of what practice time they did get and all of their qualifying to Hoosiers. They haven't had an opportunity to run the Goodyears a whole lot and figure out exactly what they're going to be like. Earnhardt just got a bad set of tires. Bad, not in the sense of tire quality, but a mismatch, a problem with what they call stagger. The size of the tires just didn't work right and get the car around the racetrack. Now he's got a good set, and he's moving back to the front. And I think the key point to remember is that Earnhardt is racing Bill Elliott. He wants to win. He always wants to win, but he's racing Bill Elliott because with Wallace on the sidelines, those are the 2 men who now move into the championship spotlight, and Earnhardt has Elliott down for the moment. He can't take the lead if Bill finishes the race here today anywhere in the top 20, but he can certainly take a big bite out of the lead currently enjoyed by this man. Elliott had just 9 points coming in here. Wallace got crashed out of the race. So for the moment, at least, it looks like Elliott versus Earnhardt for the title, with Earnhardt at the moment in the driver's seat.
Elliott in number 9 is running in 7th place. There you see Earnhardt, who is now running in 3rd place. They are all running in the lead lap, but Davey Allison is within 1 8/10 of a second of lapping car number 9, Bill Elliott, the 7th place campaigner. Allison 1st, Rudd 2nd, Earnhardt now 3rd, Kulwicki 4th, Labonte 5th, Mark Martin 6th, Elliott 7th, Darrell Waltrip a lap down at 8th, Kyle Petty in 9th, and Greg Sachs in 10th, with 11th Brett Bodine, 12th Michael Waltrip, 13th Neil Bonnet, 14th Sterling Marlin, 15th Dale Jarrett, 16th Dave Marcus, 17th currently Rodney Combs, and Benny Parsons in the Dunleavy car is in 20th. That's the deployment, and here you see the number 9, and now you see Davey Allison closing to the back straightaway on the number 9. Let's go to Jerry Garrett, who is standing by on the Phil Parsons story.
Phil's been running in the top 10 here until just recently. He came in for a pit stop. And Phil, what happened out there to bring you into the pit?
What'd you say?
What brought you in the pit?
I really don't know. The air cleaner came off or the ignition went bad. I really don't know what it was.
They're trying everything they can to get it started down here. It acts like it's flooded, but it just won't kick.
Phil Parsons, who had high hopes for today, now sits behind the wall as they continue to work on car number 55, the Crown Petroleum car. We'll be back with more with 270 laps now complete at the Richmond Fairgrounds after these words.
With coverage of the Richmond 400 on TBS Sports, and one of the things I love about covering these races on television is that these guys are all finally getting rich for doing what they deserve to get rich for. When they first came here 40 years ago, paid about $150 to win at Richmond. Consider that Dale Earnhardt is our true value hard charger leader in the race thus far. That'll pay $1,500 if he can hold off Davey Allison, who's closing up that gap every lap, and there's 50 grand on the line for the guy who wins that award at the end of the year. Come with me, we'll give away some more stuff. We have also our Mac Tools behind the scenes award. It's just not the drivers who get rich, but it's also the crews. That's a pretty high paying gig right now. We nominated Earnhardt's crew early for the great job they did in picking the right tire combination to get him from the back of the pack up to the front. I think we should add Davey Allison's crew to the list, and I want to do this just a little bit differently. I think there is one reason that Davey Allison is running so fast here today, and that's the old man back in the rehab center back in Birmingham. I think Bobby Allison is the fire that is driving Davey today. When Bobby gets out of rehab, first thing he's going to want to do is go work on his airplane. He's in the running for a brand new set of Mac Tools to do that. Ken?
Very much so. This Davey Allison run right now, as you look from the number 6 car up at number 11, has carried car number 28, Davey Allison, right up under Bill Elliott. He's about to put him a lap down. Look at this contest in the back straightaway. This is for a lap. Davey Allison has Elliott on the outside, and the car number 28. Allison stretching for $1 million if he can win this one today.
Dale Earnhardt just came down pit road to get some new tires.
There he is in car number 3. Will this carry him all the way?
They're going all the way around for 4 tires, so he's probably going to lose a couple laps here.
He's running in 8th, and here's Davey Allison on the bottom of the racetrack underneath the number 9. Let's go to Bob Marshall.
Well, Ken, those were Goodyear tires that went on to Earnhardt's car. We still have lots of laps still to run here, and as I mentioned earlier, all of the teams up and down the road have a set of Hoosier tires waiting by the pit wall for that last pit stop. They know that the Hoosiers are a little bit quicker than the Goodyears, and wouldn't it be ironic if a Goodyear set of tires are carrying a car all the way to victory lane, but the last 2 laps are run on Hoosiers, and they get to pop the champagne.
That would be wild.
Wouldn't that be wild?
Well, the Hoosiers would run for probably 40 to 50 laps and maintain that kind of advantage. But again, it's rolling the dice. But as a racetrack gets slicker like this, it lets the heat not build up in the Hoosier tire as bad as it does when we started out. So what I'm saying is a Hoosier may not be a bad call with 50 laps to go or so.
Here's Phil Parsons back out in the Crown Petroleum car, back on the track after a lengthy time in the pits, trying to score some points with car number 55. Phil Parsons back once again. He has never had good luck here in Richmond. This has not been his favorite track.
No, but look at how smooth the racetrack. Now, Phil's down, and he's waving to people to go on by because he knows he's really out of the contest, and his quicker cars come up. But see, now he jerked a little bit right there, coming off of turn 4. But see, he just barely moves his hand. And Phil told me this is the smoothest racetrack he's ever been on in his life. It's so smooth, it's a little scary.
That was the report from all the drivers. They were amazed at how much the surface worked for them, with about 4 inches of sub-base, and they laid in 2 inches, an inch and a half on top of that, and it really has come together into a great blend of asphalt to make a very, very good track.